It happens with every single car I buy. I always say I'm going to leave it standard, it doesn't need anything. However, the 640D has now gone stage 1. Did it need more power? Probably not. Was it easy to extract that power? Absolutely. A stage 1 tune on these cars is so simple to do. There's lots of people offering them. Obviously have a read around and like make sure they're reputable, but essentially it's a laptop plugged in, your original file pulled off your ECU, it's tweaked at the other end, and then the tweaked file is then re-uploaded back into your ECU, and you're looking at a 60 horsepower increase for very little money, to be honest with you. When you think back in the day, to get a 60 horsepower increase, you'd be talking tens of thousands of pounds. This is merely a couple of hundred. What do you think?
It's more power.
More power, more smoke.
More power, more smoke.
More fuel.
You know, typically when diesels get mapped and puts clouds of black smoke, none of that. And that's not good.
No black smoke at all.
It's not good.
It's not good.
It's not good. Because
It's
you can't smoke
map.
people.
Stealth map, mate. Smoking with tyres.
No, it feels better, doesn't it?
Yeah,
loads
100%.
more poke, smoother. It
torque,
feels
yeah.
like it's exactly. It feels like it's just improved torque rather than power. Obviously, they're related. It's done both.
It's not spiky at all, so you're not driving it like you're not waiting for that fucking power to come in. It is just like dead linear. Strangely, exhaust noise doesn't sound any different despite the exhaust modifications we've done.
No. Sounds a bit loud outside.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, like listening back onto camera then, I've not really noticed it from the inside of the car, but the car is so dampened inside, you'd be lucky to notice if you were dragging a body underneath in all fairness. Very good.
Good.
That'll do. Knock it off.
Definitely faster.
It is quicker, like
It's quicker.
It feels much torquier. Like, I don't know what you'd expect from a stage 1 remap. You're not going to jump in and it's going to rip your face off kind of thing. Like, it is literally software upgrades. Like, I've done the preventative bit at the same time. I say I've done it in the royal kind of eye. Chris at CL Autos, he's done the oil, the filters, he's done the ZF8 box filter. It's built into the sump on that, I didn't realise. It costs more, so yeah, more money for Chris. Cheers, mate. But as always, amazing job. The car does drive a million times better with the stage 1 map, so I can only imagine how savage one of these would be with the stage 2, 3. And I hate these stages of maps, as you know. Like, it's had a remap, right? That's all it used to be. All these different stages, they just confuse things, don't they?
There's stage 1, 0.2, 0.5, 0.6, 0.6 if you have this, and just why? But the upshot is, it's definitely faster,
yeah,
smoother, torquier, and I think torquey is the word I'm going to go with, really, because it doesn't feel, as you say, rip your face off fast, but in every gear, low to mid RPM, it pulls
power's
much
there,
harder,
yeah.
doesn't it?
100% the power's there for it. And the nice thing about this car is it's not a sports car, it is a big wafty bus that I daily every day. And to be honest, most of the time I'm driving it, it's an eco mode anyway, so it doesn't need to be the fastest thing in the world, but I think this would surprise a hell of a lot of cars. Like,
yeah, I mean, what
380 horsepower now-ish?
And torque?
Yeah, loads, yeah. I don't know, mate, I don't care.
See, if it was stage 2.1654,
oh, I'd be ripping out Ferraris, wouldn't I? Yeah.
No, but jokes aside, it's definitely smoother and torquier. Well worth doing.
Mate, it was £175.
Really, he's had it for the map. And how much was the preventative work then, the other bits?
So I spent about £1,000 in total, and again, that was oil, filters, fuel filter, all the filters. The ZF8 box kit, it's like a full new sump with a filter built in. I didn't realise that, but apparently that needs doing as well.
Why do you need to change that then?
So they're meant to have lifetime oil.
Oh yeah, that crap.
Oil doesn't last for a lifetime, and this car's now on 91,000 miles-ish. So it was obviously worth doing it. Just in terms of keeping the boxes smooth and stuff like that. And again, like, I'd like to think I'm going to keep this car for a while. Like I say it with every car, I'm going to keep this one. I've spent a few quid maintaining it now, so you know, it's another 6 months worth, isn't it?
No, what you've done is you spent a few quid maintaining it so you can use that when you sell it and make more money on it.
Probably, mate. Yeah. Like I do like to change cars, and I do fancy an M2 next. However, I think the price difference between that and one of these at the moment, like this is so practical for the kids. Like the baby seat's in the back there now, the boot's massive. Like it's everything I need it to be.
I think it's factoring what you need it for too. An M2 is a mega car. Don't get me wrong, but as a daily, I think this is a better car. It's got more space, it's more comfortable, it's got more mid-range poke and torque. It's a nicer car to drive
and
long distance.
I'd fall back into the same trap I did with the 140i. The 140i, beautiful car. Once you've done a few bits to it and made it 480 horsepower, they're not as MPG friendly as say one of these. So this, all right, we've just been divvying around in it. Like,
and the other things you forget, like you get the heavy smell of petrol stuff, because obviously you're decatting it and stuff. So they have the downside, don't they?
No decals. All fully legal, it's fine. Well, the next owner can worry about that one.
The 140i was fully legal?
The 140i was a fully legal car.
Oh, okay, good. I was going to say.
But like in terms of like MPGs, again, this is a daily, like we're not an eco channel, we kick cars heads in and stuff, but ultimately if I'm wafting to and from work, I don't want to be spending loads of money on fuel. And this really is the best of both worlds. Like, you know, nearly 400 horsepower, and it's doing between 35 and 45 mile per gallon on a run even further. Like that's a mixture of like dual carriageway and just mooching around town. So I can't knock it for its MPG, mate. It's cheap enough. And the tax, it's about, last time I checked, 210 quid for the year. A lot cheaper than yours.
Do you mean my Hyundai's £35?
How much is the GT4, man?
It's £600.
Just had to weave into that video you had a GT4, didn't we?
Got a new car, yeah. But jokes aside, it's also what car this pairs up to. So if you didn't have the Lotus, you'd just be happy with the M2, wouldn't you?
M2 would be great as like an all.
You wouldn't be happy with just this if you didn't have a Lotus.
No, I wouldn't personally. I've always had two cars, and I think it'll always be that chalk and cheese. Like the Lotus is absolute batshit crazy in comparison to this. It's like so stripped out and so raw. This is the biggest, waftiest, comfiest bus. And when I say the biggest, I mean it. It's only over 5 meters long. It struggles to fit into most spaces. But you know what?
It's actually legal.
Yeah,
in some car parking places.
You can't park anything over 5 meters, and I think it's like 5 meters and 4 mil. But yeah, like someone said before, they're like, oh, it's a beautiful car. That, like, what is it, like a year old? It's 9 years old this year, man.
I think it's aged really well then.
Yeah, they like, because they didn't facelift it after this. They've not dated, have they? So unless you're going into say an 8 series, which look much more modern.
I'd have called the 8 series.
Oh, the boss man. But like this, yeah, they're a lot of money for what they are. But then these were, when they first came out, one of these about 80 grand brand new.
I don't know, but they were like one of the cars that nobody paid full money for. It was advertised in BMW RRP. You go in, you have a conversation, you come out with a good discount.
And they're still not a massively popular car now. They don't have. They've got a following, of course. They have, and anyone watching this is probably a follower of a 6 series, but they don't have a massive following. You don't see that many knocking around. Like, I know I've just said that, and I know the next corner we go round, there'll be a 6 series just to prove me absolutely wrong.
Well, I actually saw one today earlier, but you're right, it's not a common car. My dad actually had one for quite a number of years, and he actually loved it so much. When he changed it, he bought a BMW X4 only because he wanted something with this engine in it, and he was so disappointed because obviously the X4 was bigger, slower. He just never loved the car.
Are you just showing off because you got a dad?
Because I got what?
Because you got a dad.
You've got a dad technically. You just don't know where he is.
If your dad wants to buy this, he's more than welcome to, because I'll just go and buy that M2.
No, he wouldn't buy one in dog shit red.
Dog dick red, mate.
That's
dog dick red.
Oh, that's much better.
Yeah, which by the way I didn't realise was a thing until I bought it, until everyone asked what colour is it, and then points out it's dog dick red. So
was it actually a Mola red?
I've got no idea. I think it's Imola, yeah.
Imola's a nice colour.
It's lovely, mate. It does need a bit of a polish now, but it's nearly 10 years old, like I said, so plenty to do, plenty more to come for the 640D. Stay tuned, hit subscribe, like, and all the usual bits, and I'll see you all soon.
Yeah, and don't forget, we are now sponsored by Car Vertical.
Oh, we're not?
Oh, sorry.
No, we're not, mate, because we asked them and they said we weren't good enough, so... Vertical will never be sponsored by you.
Until you offer us, and then we will.